Mercury.
I told y'all that the saxophones were getting a bit louder in Los Angeles.
Sydney Taylor is hooping like the rent is due.
Taylor, my goodness. Oh, Sydney Taylor married him. Wow. Off a pair of screens. It's Taylor. Catches for the win. Taylor. Oh, my goodness.
What you know about living?
You know, Kelsey Mitchell's really the one that's killing us right now. This is low-key my welcome to the W moment.
Miles through the lane.
Welcome to NBA Today with Malika Andrews, live from Los Angeles.
Well, it was a wild weekend in the WNBA. We had awesome games. We had a big move at the deadline. 5-time All-Star, 2-time champ Kelsey Plum traded from the Sparks to the Phoenix Mercury. More on that coming up. And then on the court, the spectacle. Olivia Miles continued to dazzle as she took down Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell in the Fever last night. Maybe a finals preview. We get to start talking like that because we're only 55 days away from the WNBA playoffs. Monica McNutt and I were in studio all weekend, and we thought let's take the party into today. Relived some of the action, including A'ja Wilson and the Aces taking on the Sky. Wilson drives, gets the layup with the left.
Yeah, she had a monster game in this one. 37 for A'ja Wilson, and this was a huge bucket late.
And then this was a huge play late. 3.2 seconds left to play in the fourth. Sky down 2, not anymore. Sydney Taylor comes off the screen, nails the 3. Here's how it sounded on the broadcast.
Cloud to inbound. Here comes Carrington off a pair of screens. It's Taylor. Catches for the win. Taylor. Oh, my goodness. Sydney Taylor hits the 3. Chicago flips their fortune, and they hit on their final shot.
And that, Monica, is the energy we're taking into a Monday.
Yes, indeed. That was an outstanding call. Shout out to my girl Isis Young, also on that call as well.
The Liberty and the Mercury under 5 to go. DeWanna Bonner just rejected there by Brianna Stewart. And by the way, Stewie now moves up, passes Kia Stokes for the most blocks in franchise history. Sabrina Ionescu comes off the screen. This is what she does. Knocks down the 3. By the way, 3rd fewest games in WNBA history to reach 500 career 3-pointers. Shooters shoot. To the sun and the wings. Sorry to step on you there. Dallas up big in this one. But Monica, did you see this? Okay, so Diamond Miller hits the 3 and then turns around. What do you think she says? It has the entire bench cracking up. I'm going to need to know.
That's a good question. I cannot decipher that one.
I'm going to need the receipts. Paige Becker's phone a friend. Just let us know what was said there. And then, the battle of the weekend. Olivia Miles, what can't she do?
Man, Malika, this young lady is, God, these finishes, man. It's the finishes to me.
Under 10 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Mitchell going at Miles. Here's what Miles had to say about the matchup.
She's so tough, man. Oh, my God. You know, Kelsey Mitchell's really the one that's killing us right now. I'm just kind of in awe watching her. Like, this is low-key my welcome to the W moment, just trying to guard her.
It's the finesse and the honesty for Monica.
Yeah, man. These two have tremendous amount of respect for one another, and rightfully so. Kelsey Mitchell gave Olivia her praise when we sat with her at All-Star Weekend.
And these two went at it, but it was Olivia Miles and the Lynx that had the last laugh. They keep on rolling, get the win 108-100 in this packed weekend of WNBA action. And then Dawn Staley had to take to social media and say, you know what, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. We're going to make her the logo in her rookie season.
Flawless silhouette, Malika. Like, this is just so well done.
The goggles, I love the nickname, the spectacle, but it's the team that's behind her as well because, Monica, the Lynx have now rattled off 10 straight wins in a row. We were already talking about them as the standard bearer, but what did you learn about them over the weekend as we start really marching towards the playoffs?
I just am so excited to see the best of the combination of Miles and Nafisa Collier, who missed a chunk of the season with that injury to start the season. And despite her absence, this was still a team that is sitting atop the standings. When I think about those two really starting to gel, I think about the opportunity that Cheryl Reeve will also have to develop some more of her bench talent.
Yeah.
Because that starting group is going to be so solidified, how deep will this team actually be able to go as we approach the postseason?
And we saw the difference in their bench and the Indiana Fever's bench in this matchup because, so we know, and we're going to talk about the tiers a little bit later in the show, we know that the Minnesota Lynx are up here. But the next closest team, tell me how close they are. Tell me when we get there. Are we there? Are we there? Are we there?
The first team I come to mind is Las Vegas for me. I do think Indiana Indiana is in my next tier, but when I look at the standards of what champions have had, and we saw it yesterday, and you could very easily say, okay, Indiana's on a road trip, they're a little bit tired, but I think their defense has been something that we've kept an eye on as a weakness all season.
It's not just something we've kept an eye on, it's something that Stephanie White has also said, we need to get to the middle of the pack if we are really going to make a push. But as you said, we have more time to talk about that a little bit later in the show. We had huge games this weekend, but we also got some big news. Kelsey Plum was traded to the Mercury for Monika Koa-Makani, a 2027 first-round pick and a 2028 second-rounder. And her new squad welcomed her already to the Valley. It looks like she's going to be wearing number 0 with her new team. Welcoming in my sister, Kendra Andrews, who was part of the reporting team that broke the news, joining us now. So, Kendra, I just want to take a little bit of the long view here because, yes, Kelsey Mitchell right now, she is with the Mercury, but she is a free agent this offseason. So do we expect her to stay with Phoenix long term?
Yeah, Malika, I'm told that Kelsey Plum does plan on going through the free agency process as, originally planned, as free agents do. I'm also told this doesn't mean that Phoenix is out of the picture. If they are a team that wants to try to court her during the free agency process, make their pitch, try to bring her back, she will be all ears. However, she is still going to take calls from other teams that may reach out to her during that time. So, that was kind of a little bit of a risk, we'll say, if we want to call that, for the Phoenix Mercury to go after someone with just a couple really months left on her contract. However, with a player like Kelsey, they're hoping that she can help them make their push to creep into these WNBA playoffs.
Yeah, they're a couple of games back right now. Their work is cut out for them, but you know what? You got to take a swing. Otherwise, you're not going to get rewarded. So let's go to the short view now. The Mercury, they are in Chicago. They are facing the sky. Could we see Plum return? We haven't seen her in a while as she's been dealing with that leg injury.
Yeah, she hasn't played since June, and right now she's listed as questionable on the injury report, and I'm told it's still, not 100% either way if she's going to play or if she's not going to play. But she said, but this was before she was traded, of course, she said last week, I plan on playing on Sunday, which is when the Sparks were scheduled to play their next game. Of course, she was traded on Saturday, so she didn't get to play. But we'll take that as saying she's feeling good in her body. She's feeling good from the recovery of that leg injury. However, whenever you get traded to a new team, you guys know this, you have to go through a couple extra physicals, get checked out by these team doctors in Phoenix, and then they'll make their determination if she's good to go. But Malika, she also is scheduled to speak today, 3:30 Pacific, in Chicago for her introductory press conference with GM Nick Uren. So I think that's going to be really interesting to hear how she's feeling and then also her outlook on this team.
Yeah, okay, so it sounds like maybe even if she doesn't play, it's not because she isn't physically fit to, it's because there is a process with her new team that is just outside our show window when she's speaking, so we'll definitely bring that sound to you tomorrow. Kendra Andrews, appreciate the time here. All right, it's happening in the W. The NBA, meanwhile, is in full off-season summer mode. So let's go coast to coast. This is fun, checking in on vacations. Wemby, he was back home visiting the new NBA summer house in Paris, the immersive event. It brought some fans together. It's an entirely dedicated place for basketball, NBA culture. Kendrick Perkins is here. Do you think this is a clear signal that the NBA is saying, you know what, Wemby is the face?
Well, one, I'm mad I didn't get the invite, but two, yes, he's one of the faces. I don't believe it's going to be a face. It's faces, but yes, Wemby is one of those guys, and that 7'5", 7'6", whatever he is, he's very marketable. I heard he might have a shoe coming out as well. Malika, you gonna get your pair?
Yeah, Perk in Paris, Sacre Bleu. All right, back stateside, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was in the gym with his fellow teammates. He's been doing some intense hill workouts. We have some video of that as well. Monica, do you think that SGA is going to be the first player since Bird to win 3 straight MVPs?
Girl, so my first answer was an immediate no, and then I was hemming and hawing because could it be possible? I mean, obviously, you mentioned historically this is not done often. We've obviously had 8 different champions over the last 8 years. I feel like somebody's going to come to take this crown, but also I could be wrong. But if I had to bet, I think the guy that we started this segment with, Victor Wembanyama, is right there.
Oui. Speaking of MVPs, Steph Curry, he held a camp in New York with his alma mater, the Davidson Wildcats, getting some work in with the 2-time MVP. Perk, what are you expecting from Steph and the Warriors this season? Good coaching.
Well, I'm expecting them to make the playoffs through the play-in tournament. Steph Curry played at an all-NBA level last season when he was available. Steph is not going to waste time. Anytime he's on the floor, he's going to deliver. He's one of the few, like LeBron James, that has defeated Father Time. So I expect Steph to be Steph, just depending on how Jimmy Butler looked when he returned.
I don't know if, Park, you saw, but there was a lot of weddings this weekend, including Cavaliers star Donovan Mitchell, Coco Jones. Congratulations to the newlyweds. They tied the knot. Plenty of NBA players were in attendance. Monica, are you more of an electric slide on the dance floor, or are you a Cupid shuffle? Wobble, maybe?
Give me an electric slide. And, JB, what's happening right now? This is terrifying. But I'm so happy for these two. Fun fact, I was at Essence Fest a year ago, and Donovan tipped me off that he was about to propose, and I was so happy for them. This is such a beautiful wedding.
I'm also so happy that we got a new meme unlocked here.
Jalen, what's happening here?
I love that he turns at the end and goes, Josh! Talking to Josh Hart. Jaylen Brown, though, was definitely invited in attendance. The new Sixers star, he was jumping out of a plane, though, in Egypt. I'm getting altitude sickness just watching this. You've done this, right?
I have done this. Not in Egypt. I was in Virginia.
You know what? It's a no for me, dog, as Randy would say. Kevin Durant, though, he was asked this weekend about Philadelphia's new squad, including Jaylen Brown. Here's what KD had to say.
Last time they put 3 20-point scores on the team, they said it was unfair, which is the team I was on. Yeah. They got 4 25-point scores on this team. So, hell yeah, I think they're going to be a contender, man.
I agree with Kevin Durant. So does Kendrick Perkins, because Perk put together his big list of teams in the East. The list was absolutely wild, but Sixers were number 1 as your best teams in the East. What's going to be their key to success?
Oh, it's going to be the connection between LeBron James and Joel Embiid. And here's the thing, right? It's more than one way to get to Walmart, okay? It's more than one way to get to Walmart. And it's more than one way. It's more than one way to use Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid has become a great passer over the last few seasons, and as we see the connection with him and LeBron in the Olympics, here we are again. Rebound, outlet. We know that LeBron James was one of the best last year for us getting out in transition. Joel Embiid unlocking a different version of himself. Here we go again. The post-entry pass. When Joel Embiid takes the crab dribble, he sees the triple team, not the double team. LeBron James, great at finding the gaps, cutting off the ball. So, again, everybody is talking about how is this offense going to work, but everybody is not highlighting how guys have grown up, like Joel Embiid, how at times you can use him as a passer, as that point center, and we know how great LeBron James is as far as his IQ and playing off the ball.
I just looked this up. There's more than one way to Walmart. This phrase has never been used.
I literally like you just made that up. I thought you were going to say
more
skin
than
a
one
cat.
way to skin a cat.
Right.
That is a pure Perkism. That is just you, Kendrick Perkins. But to your point, there are people who react and say, okay, the Sixers team, how is it going to work? There's only one basketball. How are all these alphas going to fit together? What do you say to those folks, Monica?
Well, I agree with you, Perk, that it can work. I don't know if my key relationship is going to be the LeBron James, Joel Embiid thing, or the Tyrese Maxey, LeBron James, and somewhere in there you got to sprinkle in some Jaylen Brown as well. I have no doubt, though, that this is going to be a high basketball IQ group of guys. Nick Nurse is one of the more creative coaches that we've seen in the NBA, willing to do things that are so to speak out of the box, right? I just think this is going to be so fun. And the only hesitation that I have in terms of it hinging on Joel Embiid is just because of his history. Now, if he is healthy, that is a whole different layer for sure, Malika, without a doubt. But I think LeBron James allowing Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown to sort of run and dictate pace and not having to be a guy that carries a lot of weight because of the power of those guys, I think it's going to work well.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of how many games are going to get together in the regular season, because we know you can't just have instant oatmeal chemistry for these guys, especially at this point in their careers. You're going to need a little bit of a runway. But as we know now, there's more than one way to get to walk. So 30 years ago, the Olympic Games, they were in Atlanta, and on this day, that's when the men's Olympic team won gold. They defeated Serbia and Montenegro in the gold medal game, 95-69, behind 28 points from the Admiral, David Robinson. So let's go a little bit more in depth on that 1996 gold medal team, because they won their games, remember, by an average of more than 31 points a night in that 8-game tournament. Team USA won every game by double figures and allowed 80 points, only 80 points once through that entire run. The 1996 team, it was full of Hall of Famers, but Charles Barkley, of course, led the team in scoring. Barkley was the highest scorer for Team USA for the second straight Olympic Games. Quite the feat, right, for the 1993 MVP. And the 96 gold medal team for the men's team, it was one of 8 gold medals the program has won over the last 9 Olympic Games. Team USA has won gold in the Olympics in every tournament between 1992 and 2024, with, of course, the exception of the Athens games in 2004. So now welcoming in the four-time All-Star, the current Memphis Tigers head coach, Penny Hardaway, fresh on the golf course. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Penny, I got to ask you before we dive into the basketball, what's the handicap looking like since you're out there enjoying the lush greens?
My handicap is finally at a 1. I need to get it to 0, though.
It's at a 1. The entire control room right now is getting in my ear telling me how impressive that is that it's at a 1. If you're getting it to a 0, you're not giving anybody any chance.
No, I'm not trying to. That's the point.
See, and that is the mentality, and that's the mentality that you had on that 1996 team that won gold. It was 30 years ago. When you think back to that group, Penny, what's the memory that stands out?
Yeah, for me, it was about sacrifice. You showed Charles Barkley, who averaged 28 points a game in the regular season in the NBA, averaging 12 points and leading us in scoring. Think about that. All these Hall of Famers, all these top scorers. David Robinson probably led the league in scoring that year, and Charles led us with 12 points per game. So it was about sacrifice and domination with us.
So if you're thinking back to maybe the scene that would lead the documentary, if and when there's one that's made about the 1996 team, what's the scene that's going to open up, that's going to set the stage for everything?
You know, it's us finally getting to Atlanta and being so locked in. I mean, there was no playing around. We understood that we needed to win every game by 30 points. So getting off that plane and getting into Atlanta and everybody's seriousness, it wasn't a time to mess around or play around. We understood the task at hand, and if you open up the documentary, it's us landing in Atlanta ready to take care of business.
You took care of business, but there was also a bunch of trash talkers on that team. Of course, I'm thinking about Chuck. I'm thinking about Gary Payton, the rest of the crew. Who was the best?
Well, GP is the best at it. You know, that's my dog right there. You know, GP got added later. Don't know why he should have been on there from the very beginning, but Glenn Big Dog Robinson had declined to play, and we added Gary Payton, which really made it to where our defense was so stellar, where the other team couldn't get above 80 points because, you know, it started with me, him, and John Stockton. But, you know, to have the glove on the team and have Scottie Pippen on the team, guys that are defensive-minded, and to have the Admiral and those guys behind you and Shaq at the rim was cool.
I love listening to the stories of these teams that were sort of the beginning, right, for me. When you think back, you've said that you think that this is the second best Team USA that's ever been put together for the men. Do you still feel that way?
I do feel that way. And I'm not trying to disrespect D-Wade, LeBron, KD, and Kobe and those guys. I have to feel that way. I felt like our team was well-rounded, and we had an opportunity to do something special. And I do know the magnitude of having LeBron and D-Wade and those guys. So I still feel like we're the second best team behind the original Dream Team.
All right. I mean, when I'm thinking of the power rankings, you guys got a real case here, but we're already looking ahead. We talk a lot about this show because it's right here in Los Angeles about the 2028 Olympic team and whether or not the world, frankly, has caught up, the talent around the world. Do you think when you're looking at 2028, you believe in America still that we're going to win the gold medal once again on the men's side?
I still believe 100%, but the world has definitely caught up.
Yeah.
You know, back when in 96, the world had not caught up to us. Now, you know, watching these guys dominate the league, their confidence is really high, and they feel like they can beat us. And if it weren't for an unbelievable Steph Curry showing, which he always shows up, and rallying us, you know, it could have been the other way. But thank God for those guys, and I'm still riding with the USA no matter what.
See, but I don't know. Is Steph Curry, you know, Steph Curry said he's probably not going to be there again. LeBron James doesn't look like he's going to be there again. Do you think we're going to see those guys again in the red, white, and blue?
I'm not sure. It's going to take something very special for those guys to come out and try it one more time. But whoever goes, whether it's Ant-Man or whoever's there, I trust those guys, and they're going to go out and compete.
Penny, you know who we are going to see, though? We're going to see Victor Wembanyama. He is not going anywhere, right? When I think back to the gold medal game, I think of the tears that he had, and he was so unsatisfied with walking away with silver. Who's going to go toe-to-toe with him?
Well, I think it's going to be a team deal. You know, you got Bam and those guys that are going to be there. Maybe even Jalen Duren, you know, who played for me. Those guys, they're going to be ready to play. They understand who Victor is. Like you said, those tears were something that, you know, you have to go through defeat before you get the victory, but I hope not in the Olympics against us in 2028.
I don't know about 2028, but I believe that Victor Wembanyama is going to have a gold medal before it's all said and done. Do you?
I don't really want to admit to it, but if you're smart, you will admit that he might get one later on for sure, but hopefully not anytime soon.
Well, that's fair enough. Before we let you go, because I know you got around to finish, we've been talking a lot also this summer about the remaining free agents and the conversations that they're having with different teams. You coach Jalen Duren back at Memphis. He's in that contract negotiation. Why is it so important, do you think, that he re-signs with Detroit?
It's very important because Jalen is a guy that, he wants to finish where he started. And he's very loyal. And he's gonna play his heart out for Detroit, and he wants to win a championship there. They've only scratched the surface, and with him being an All-Star for the first time this year, his heart and soul is in Detroit. So hopefully that all works itself out.
I appreciate that window into everything that he's going through. This is your home course, right? What's the record looking like out there?
Yeah, I shot 65 out here. This is where I started playing. It's a public course that we all started playing that a while ago in like year 2000. So we come out here and just try to play with the homies and have fun. So, yeah, I shot 65 out here before. That's
like 7 under. There's the homies. No one's going to want to play with you anymore. You're getting too good out there.
You know what? They are kind of trying to escape the betting more now than when I first got done coaching when I was shooting in the 80s.
There you go. You're taking everyone's money out there. Penny Hardaway, thank you so much for the time. We'll let you get back to it.
Oh, thank you.
So the Timberwolves here, Perk. The Wolves, they look very different this season after moving on from Julius Randle. They also moved on from fan favorite Naz Reid. A lot of people with tattoos are very sad right now. LaMelo Ball, the full ball experience is in Minnesota. The Wolves have made at least the conference finals, the semifinals rather, in each of the last 3 seasons after making it only once through their first 34 seasons combined. So Kendrick Perkins, you're handing out the grade. What grade are you giving Minnie?
I'm actually giving them a B+, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are down on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not one of them. I think it's only 2 teams that I'm putting ahead of them, and that's the San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City. And I just think Anthony Edwards, we're going to see a different version of Anthony Edwards this year. We're going to see an MVP-type version of Anthony Edwards. He has never played with a guy like LaMelo Ball that's going to be able to set the table for him and get him easier looks, and especially in transition. We saw what LaMelo did for Con Knipple last year. I think he's going to have that same effect, us knowing that Anthony Edwards over the last 3 years has been one of the best three-point shooters in the game.
Yeah, we've been asking for him to get a point guard. Let's see what happens now that he has one. Next up, Indiana. So the last time, we saw Tyrese Halliburton finish a series healthy. The Pacers knocked off the Knicks in the 2025 Eastern Conference Finals, and Indy looks like they're ready to try to get back in there, contend again with those beasts in the East when you look at their starting 5. Remember, they dealt for Ivica Zubac at the deadline last year. They've added Kelly Oubre Jr. to bolster their bench. So, Monica, we all have that friend, right, that took a gap year. I took one between high school and college.
I love that.
Did. What grade are you giving the Pacers after their gap year?
So I have been told I'm a generous professor, but I'm giving these guys a B+. I like the addition of Zubac for this team. I think Tyrese Halliburton getting healthy. And listen, I know that a year ago there was some debate about how fluky it was or wasn't that they made a run to the finals. I was obviously a part of that Knicks series. I don't think it's a fluke. I think Pascal Siakam is one of the more underrated players in the NBA. His adulation, if you will, is contingent on how well his team is or isn't performing, but he's still a quality player in the NBA. And so I really like Jarris Walker. I know they are fans of his opportunity to grow and continue to develop. Nesmith, Nembhard, those dudes are the real deal. I think that the Pacers are going to be right back in the mix in the Eastern Conference.
And they know what it takes. They've been there before. All right, let's head back to the West, to Dallas. Let's take a look at the Mavs lineup. Year 2 of the Cooper Flag era, Kyrie Irving healthy. The 2 number 1 picks, they've yet to share an NBA floor together in Dallas despite having tons of depth, but they're going to need to figure out a few things as they have 16 guaranteed deals right now. That can't go into the season. So, Perk, what grade are you giving Dallas?
I'm actually giving them a B+. I'm feeling nice. I mean, look, I feel like the Mavericks are the most slept. I feel like the Mavs are the most slept-on team in the NBA. Like, we don't talk a lot about them, but Cooper Flag, what he done last year to end the season, winning Rookie of the Year. Kyrie Irving, he looks healthy from the videos that we've seen circulating across social media. And also, when you look at the center position, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, P.J. Washington, like, they got great depth, right? It's just how quick are they going to be able to adjust to their new head coach. But outside of that, they got the talent. I would not be surprised if we look up at the end of next season and the Dallas Mavericks has some way found themselves in the postseason.
All right, so we've handed out 3 grades, 3 Bs. Depending on who your parents are, they're either very disappointed or super excited. So let's end with the Boston Celtics, all right? The Celtics offseason, it's been unique, right? Jaylen Brown is gone, traded to the 76ers, the team that Boston beat in the playoffs last year. And in comes Paul George, Mitchell Robinson, and they aim to get Boston back on top. So, Monica, what grade are you giving them? This is a tricky one.
Listen, man, I got to give this one a C. And I really, as we went through these grades, I didn't want to make my grade too attached to the fact that they gave one of their best players away to a rival, even though I'm still sort of baffled by that.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is a C here. And C is a passing grade. I respect Brad Stevens and the decisions that he's made with this organization, and I do think that things can naturally run their course. This is going to be an incredible opportunity for Jason Tatum to step up and lead the way. Obviously, Paul George has later in his career, but when he was playing well in Philly, there were some good things there, and Mitchell Robinson certainly can be a force as a defender. They clearly are betting on their coaching staff, their roster, their development in order to continue to compete in the Eastern Conference.
You said that Nick Nurse is one of the most imaginative coaches in the NBA. I would put Joe Mazzulla up there as well, but certainly this is going to be an entirely new identity here for the Boston Celtics. If I came home with a C, I would have gotten a little...
Depends on the subject.
We got to have a little chat over dinner. Kirk, have you checked today's date? It's August 3rd.
Yeah.
8-3. So shout out Bam Adebayo's 83 points. You see how we got there? This is what an August show is all about. Bam, he started off sizzling in this game against the formidable Washington Wizards. 31 points in the first quarter.
Don't do my home like that.
Record. I mean, Monica, this was one of them ones for multiple reasons. Now to the third quarter here. Bam opens the break, finishes with a dunk. That put him at 52 points for the night. At the free throw line, knocks down the free throw. That would give him 60. Okay, time and score. Is he going to sit? No, not so fast. Bam finishes with authority there. Now he is 62. I do love that Asia Wilson was in the building and loving what she sees there. Now Bam is just chasing history. At the line, 80 points. Adebayo hits the free throw. He's now tied Kobe for second all-time. Back at the line with history on it. Bam. Another one.
Girl.
And now he passes Kobe. And I do love that, his family's there to see it, but he's not done. He gets one more free throw. He took 43 free throws, made 36 of them, add it all up. What's 9 plus 10? He totaled 83 points in this game. Bam even weighed in with his own tweet today, remembering it. But the list is pretty cool, no matter how he got there. Wilt, Bam, Kobe. That's it. That's the list for the highest scoring games in NBA history. And that March 2026 night, it was truly one of a kind for Adebayo, everyone watching. But he's got some new aspirations, some new goals with Giannis now on the floor in South Beach for next season. Take a listen.
We're ready to get to work. The goal is to win a championship. And, that's his mindset. We have a like mindset when it comes to that. So those conversations are really about winning. We don't really worry about the outside noise too much. We've done a lot more with less in our past years before, so we'll figure it out.
All right, Monica, Bam says the goal is to win a championship. That is why you trade for Giannis. That is why you put this team together. But what is it about this team that could be championship caliber in your eyes already?
Well, excuse me, it's no doubt about it, Malika. The defense. Perk, I should have tried to keep that one in like you did the other day. Anyway, the team's defense, yo, they not giving up no points. Well, maybe. But here we go. Here's an example of the ground that Giannis Antetokounmpo can cover as a defender. We know he's versatile. He's obviously a force to be reckoned with in terms of protecting the paint, but he's on the perimeter guarding Jimmy Butler in this case, right? And so they're going to have an incredibly switchable defense should they choose. Now, obviously, ideally, you don't want Adebayo and Antetokounmpo out on the perimeter all the time, right? But they can in today's NBA where screening is so prevalent, switching is so prevalent, trying to target the guy, target the soft spot in the defense is so prevalent here. They're just willing to be physical. I have no questions, you guys, about what this team is going to look like on the defensive side of the basketball. But the very practical question, and you can see a little bit of the fatigue on Bam's face when he answered that question, but everybody's like, y'all need some shooters. Both of y'all need some shooters. Like, what's happening?
And we've seen Bam's three-point numbers increase. They look a little bit better. He could stretch the floor a little bit for Giannis, but it does feel like if we're continuing the thread of grades, Perk, that maybe they still have it incomplete. That's why we heard Pat Riley said that they needed to land another plane, as coy as he may have been being.
No, I mean, you're right, but what they have is enough to get them to the playoffs, right? And Monica talked about their defense. Think about it. They have 4 guys that are all defensive, like, caliber players as far as making an all-defensive team. When you think about Bam and Giannis, yes, obviously, but Andrew Wiggins and Davion Mitchell. Yeah. And quick story, it's crazy because we're bringing up their defense. I had literally just got a call from Davion Mitchell's camp asking me about to send them Iman Shumpert and Tony Allen number because he wanted to pick their brain on how to become a better defender, right? So think about their mindset going into this. And again, it's going to come down to, can Bam knock down the tray ball consistently, because we know that Giannis over the course of his career has thrived with guys like Brook Lopez and even Bobby Portis to a certain degree. Miles Turner, we didn't get a big enough sample size, but Bam is going to continue to have to knock down corner threes and be able to stretch the floor. But defensively, they're going to win games.
And when you think about the teams that they're going to be going up against that are at the top of the Eastern Conference, that double big could give a lot of those lineups a lot of trouble. Perk, I got to ask, internet inquiring minds want to know, since Monica brought it up, that other day when we were in the gym and you had a little, what happened?
So I was trying to stop myself from actually sneezing, and I sneezed and coughed at the same time. I was like, damn it, why did I have to be in this shot? And I couldn't hold it. It did go. I did see that video on social media.
I speak for everyone when we say we're glad that it was only a sneeze and a cough at the same time. We're going to take a quick break right here to get it a big 3, the top 3 plays of the weekend. We're going to start at number 3, Monty. Veronica Burton. Valkyries take it on the tempo. And watch this.
VB.
Absorbing the contact, gets the bucket, plus the foul.
That Nayara Savely, that's no joke, absorbing that contact. That girl's strong.
Golden State would win big in this one, continuing to look like the contenders that we're talking about them being. At number 2, it's Olivia Miles. I mean, so many plays to choose from on Sunday, but a minute left. Lynx up 4.
No, this was crazy.
Miles.
This is crazy. Through 3 defenders, Malika, in the reverse? Come on.
2 falling into the stands, 28 points in this one as Minnesota gets the win. If she's number 2, that can only mean one thing.
Oh, this is fitting.
Yeah. At number 1, courtesy of Sydney Taylor, the go-ahead game-winning bucket to upset Las Vegas. What do we say over the weekend? It doesn't matter. Undrafted, drafted.
This. If you can ball,
the W will find you.
Also, she had a shot attempt versus the Liberty that would have won that she missed, and she took very hard. So good on her to get it back.
And I love the confidence. You get knocked down, you get back up again and get a huge win. But let's just take a look at the standings here, because the Lynx, they have won 10 straight games now. They're closing in on actually being the first team to clinch a playoff berth. The reigning champion Aces, they have the second best record in a tie with the Valkyries. And then from there, you see 4 through 8, they're all separated by 2 games and looking to make a playoff push. So a lot of opportunity and possibility. And that is why we have Monica McNutt here in studio. No, this is not a nutrition tower that you saw when you were a kid. These are the WNBA tiers. So when you talk about it, you say, okay, championship contender. And we throw that around a lot. But who is truly in your championship tiers? Let's go 3, 2, 1 here.
All right, Malika. So I'm going at the bottom level of the tier first. And I've got 3 teams down here. I got the Valkyries, the Wings, and the Atlanta Dream, who, mind you, are on a 5-game win streak right now. We just talked about the Valkyries. This is the best defense in the league, and that deserves respect. They're sitting at 3rd in those standings. Veronica Burton, the whole compilation. Gabby Williams has been great for them this year. This is the Valkyries. Now, the Dallas Wings, who you just saw, Paige Beckers, Jess Shepard. I mean, that trio, AZ Fudd, that trio is just doing work under Jose Fernandez. And, of course, here is Atlanta, 5-game win streak. They are actually doing a really good job of being 4th in defensive rating, and they're actually 6th in offensive rating as well. So I like their balance.
Okay, so if that is the bottom of the pyramid, again, the bottom of the top, you're looking at these teams as truly ones you wouldn't be surprised that they're contending, but maybe still have a little bit of a push, then this next tier is the teams that really start to feel like they could have a title next year.
Yeah, so these teams, I think, are a little under pressure, right? Obviously, Indiana behind the multiple number one picks, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, and the way Kelsey Mitchell is playing. And then the New York Liberty. Like, this is an organization that led the way in terms of facilities and setting the bar for how these professional athletes should be treated. Now, Caitlin Clark continues to be fantastic for the Fever. Kelsey Mitchell is having an outstanding year, but we've got some questions about their defense. They are outside of the metric that has indicated champions when it comes to defensive rating. And the Liberty, they got to get healthy.
And they need an identity. It still feels like we don't know exactly who the Liberty are, even though they still have all of these championship and MVP pieces that should keep them towards the top of the standings. All right, so these are the ones. This is like who we could see in the WNBA Finals.
And let me just say this. My selection to put the Aces here, because right now, based on historic metrics, they're not exactly where they should be. They are the one team who had a defensive rating lower than 6. They were 8th last year. That terrific second half of the season buoyed them to a championship. But I have to respect them because they have done it before, and A'ja Wilson has won multiple MVPs, right? And so the Aces are there for me, but right now, I think everybody's trying to catch these Minnesota Lynx, right? They are second in defensive and offensive rating, right? Olivia Miles is getting better. Nafisa Collier has just come back, and now Cheryl Reeve is going to have an opportunity to develop even more depth around her starting five. The Lynx, if I had to do like a little bit of a placement here, I'd put the Lynx right here and leave the Aces just on this side.
I feel like it should be a Christmas tree, and the Lynx are the star that should be kind of on top right now because it is the Lynx world and everybody is chasing Minnesota. But again, we're going to take inventory as the season continues.